Michael Morales, what a performance, man. First round knockout against the veteran and longtime contender, Gilbert Burns. Just absolutely smushed him, overpowered him, was way too big and strong. He's not the most technical striker. You could definitely see with the way that he throws his punches, but he's an absolute juggernaut. Enormous for the weight class, very powerful with every strike, very long with every shot that he throws, and can also take a decent shot too. Gilbert Burns hits very hard, and with power being one of the last things that goes for a fighter, he did get hit by some clean shots from Burns and ate them like they were nothing. But every time Morales hit Burns, it was a different kind of impact. Burns wasn't able to recover that well after taking some of Morales' biggest punches. And not only that, he couldn't find his own range too well. He was falling short with a lot of his punches, whereas Morales actually had good distance management on a lot of his shots, where maybe the way he throws his punches isn't the most technical. He's very good with where he needs to throw to land his shots, which could make him a problem for a lot of these other welterweights, where maybe fighters like Ian Gary and Shavkat, Jack Della Maddalena, like all these other guys have better form in their strikes. This guy's attributes could be an issue for a lot of them. So look at some of the shots that he lands here. In this sequence, he fakes a jab and then comes around with a wide right hook. And oftentimes he will extend both of his arms out, almost as if it's like he's flapping his wings in a sense. This is very similar to how Jamahal Hill throws punches. And it could be a telegraph for some of these other strikers on when to counter him. When he's extending both of his arms, it is a tell that he's throwing some big power punch at his opponent. But he lands around the guard of Burns, and look how much impact that has. This is a partially blocked punch, and it shakes Burns' stance. But Burns did a good job of adjusting to it. The second time Morales went to the same exact combination. So you see him throwing the jab forward, using it as a fake so he could attack around the guard yet again, and look at both of his arms again, flapping them both out there. The telegraph that he's going to throw a big hook. And Burns this time lifts up the high guard, uses the shoulder and arm to block the punch, almost like a high elbow guard, and also moves away from his opponent. And then Burns goes forward with a low feint and a fake jab to the body. These are two different kind of baits that could get his opponent to drop their hands. But Morales just moves away with his hands up, and the punch still falls short. Even with Burns' attack, his punch is still not long enough to get to the target. This is one of the examples that Burns just didn't have the best distance management against his much longer opponent. And even here as well, Morales throws a long step-in jab, and Burns tries to counter it with the check left hook. The punch missing target as Morales leans away from the shot. And he throws another jab to the body, but that punch also falls short. And Morales returns with a jab to the head as Burns has a very low stance, landing a shot, getting Burns to move away, and stuns him with a long right hand, showing that his attacks are falling short and he's not getting away from the punches of Morales as well either. Burns didn't have the best distance management against Morales. And that led up to the combination for Morales, throwing bombs at him, but then Burns lands a big right hook to the jaw, and Morales takes the punch very well. And that was Gilbert Burns that landed a big shot like that on him. If he doesn't get hurt by a big shot from Burns, it's going to be very difficult for a lot of fighters to hurt Michael Morales. So then Burns fires another right hand, which falls short as Morales is moving away from it. But then Burns actually adjusts. He switches stances forward, throws a shift left hook, which lands around the guard. And that doesn't really hurt Morales either. But it is a decent shot from Gilbert Burns. And look at this moment where Morales throws a jab, and Burns tries to counter with a right overhand, which Morales ducks under. There's a big telegraph on the overhand. Morales reacts to it very easily, and after ducking and disengaging, look at Burns' reaction. He thought that Morales was going to throw more punches, which shows a great amount of respect from Burns with how long he was covering up, waiting for the shots of Morales to come, which they never did. He felt the punches before. It got a lot of respect out of Burns after just a few shots. And this also leads to Morales understanding that he can overwhelm Burns with combinations at this point. He just needs to get him in a position where he can land those combos, and Burns is just going to cover up against them. With 4-ounce gloves, it's going to be very difficult to survive, especially against someone like Michael Morales, by just keeping his hands up. But then Burns started to land his shots a lot better. Morales goes in, throws a left hook which gets blocked by Burns, and he counters Morales with that check left hook. Notice how Morales drops his right hand as he's loading up for a shot. This is one of the lesser technical moments from Morales, giving Burns a big opening to counter. But Morales then adjusts. Instead of throwing a left hook, might as well throw a jab down the center, because Burns keeps picking up both of his hands on the side. He's blocking the hooks. The straighter shots should get through a lot better, but he needs to get in distance to throw them. And Morales throws a jab with much less telegraph. This is probably the most technical punch that Morales threw in the entire fight. No telegraph on the shot whatsoever. And Burns' reaction was to pick up his right hand to defend a potential left hook. Just like before, he went to that exact same defense to counter with his own left hook, which shows that Michael Morales read this perfectly. He throws a jab, very little flare out of the elbow, straight from his stance into the face of Gilbert Burns, pushing him away, which is going to get more respect out of Gilbert Burns with every shot he lands like that. But then he goes to a completely different combination. He throws a wide left hook without the fake jab first, which is what he did early in the fight. He just throws a wide left hook with a huge telegraph, and Burns is able to get away from the punch. But then Morales drops his right hand, and throws a right uppercut, a different angle for a punch that he's thrown before. And look at Burns' defense. It's very similar to the first few exchanges early in the fight. He picks up his right hand and tries to use his shoulder and arm to defend a potential right hook. But because it's a long-range uppercut, he's able to get under the arm and land perfectly to the chin. And notice how his palm is faced sideways? He's not uppercutting in a traditional form. Usually it'd be palm facing upward, but he's having his palm face to the side, connecting with the first two knuckles of his fist, straight into the chin or jaw of Gilbert Burns there. And Morales switches stances with both of his hands down. You know, again, not the best form all the time, but he was still able to land a right hook over the guard as he did stun Burns with that punch. And continues the combination. They're both throwing hooks at each other, and they both land, but Morales eats it like it was nothing. Burns doesn't throw anymore after taking that shot. It just goes to show you the difference in power and or chin from the two fighters. And Morales just keeps throwing, lands a big right hand, right uppercut, throws a left hook, which Burns ducks under and actually gets the takedown. Double leg takedown against the fence. And Morales gives up his back, goes to his base, and literally just stands up. He doesn't fight the hands to stand up or get any other different kind of position. He literally does the Derek Lewis on him, or what any really strong fighter could do if they get taken down. And this is against Gilbert Burns, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu ace of the welterweight division, who wasn't fast enough to get the back, didn't go in for the hooks, could not control Morales whatsoever from the takedown. That is so crazy. The strength difference between them two was insane. And then Morales fights off the hands after he stands up. He gets wrist control, rotates into Burns, then gets a right underhook, trying to reverse the position, and eventually gets out of the clinch. But after is where he lands the big right hook around the guard. He throws a jab, which gets Burns to pick up his hands again, and Morales swings that right hook with all of his power, gets around the guard yet again, and rocks Gilbert Burns against the fence. Throws the combinations, right overhand, uppercut, drops Burns and continues landing shots with great precision. And Burns survives, which is crazy. So Burns wasn't done from that combo. He had one more in him to go in for a single leg takedown. Tries to actually get like a fireman's carry position, which Morales easily evades. Burns is attacking the low single leg, and Morales defends that as well and wings in another big right hook. Again, both arms flapping out. He's done that a few times throughout the fight. For future opponents, that could be a big opening for them to start landing counter shots, but he partially lands a right hook around the guard, puts together another combination, left hook, right hand, another right hand, and then Herb Dean steps in. What an insane performance from Michael Morales. Burns has been fighting for too long, and the guy's way too big for him. The welterweight division is getting even better, which is crazy. We have a new champion in Jack Della Maddalena. We have Shavkat Rakhmonov. We have Sean Brady, Ian Gary, Joaquin Buckley, Carlos Prates if he can bounce back, and now Michael Morales is up there. The welterweight division is shaping up to be one of the best weight classes in the UFC, and it's been a very long time since it has been. I think this might be the best the welterweight division has ever been, and I hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown. If you guys did, make sure to give the video a like. And what do you guys think about the whole card? I thought it was a good performance of a card. It just seemed like there wasn't a lot of interest for a lot of the fights. I thought the prelims were way better than the main card. I mean, there was only one decision on the prelims, which is crazy, and there was only one finish on the main card, and that was just the main event. It's kind of a bummer that the co-main event got canceled, but maybe they put that fight together on another card. And Erosa vs. Costa was also an insane fight, but the prelims I think definitely outperformed the main card. Dude, Jared Gordon's knockout was so great. I did pick Moises to win, but I was so happy seeing Jared Gordon get another big finish. Yo, when's the rematch with Paddy Pimblett? He should be on a 3-fight win streak, but you know, that Nasrat Haqparast fight. But amazing card altogether, and an amazing main event to go with it. So I hope you guys enjoy the card. I hope you guys enjoy the breakdown, and I'll see you guys in the next video.